All right, RT 32. This one here gives us a big long list. Building size, pitch, projection, 24-inch, rafters 2x4 at 16-inch on center starting at one end. Now we're dealing with an actual building. This is going to go in and ask us for how many common rafters do we need. That's what we're going to add to this one. So, building size, 23 foot 6 by 32 feet. 23 foot 6 will be my span. So I'm going to draw my building here. 23 foot 6 inches is my span, and the length of my building, 32 foot 0 inches. I know this is a gable roof, so I'm going to draw my ridge board in there at about halfway. My pitch, 1/6. Let's convert that over to slope by multiplying it by 24 inches. So we're sharing the same rise. Pitch 1/6 times 24 equals a 4-inch rise. So right there, number 1, unit rise, answered. 4-inch. If that's 4-inch, let's draw my unit triangle down here. If that is 4 inches, I know my unit of run is always the equivalent of 12 inches. So, taking my unit triangle, taking it off the square, for my line length per foot of common rafter, 12.65 inches. That's number 2. Line length per foot. Line length per foot of common rafter is equal to 12.65 inches. Half the span as a decimal. Here's my span, 23 foot 6 inches, which is 23.5 units. So I'm going to take, for number 3, half my span as units of run. Span is equal to 23.5 units. Divide that by 2 equals my units of run. Well, why didn't I do any of these answers? 23.5. 23.5 divided by 2 gives me 11.75 units of run. 11.75 units. Number 4, decimal length of my common rafter. My common rafter, running from the wall plate to the ridge. I know that it's running 11.75 units. So 11.75 units of run times the line length per foot, 12.65 inches per unit. Gives me an answer of 11.75 times 12.65, 148.635. 6375 inches. I'm going to divide that by 12 to give me decimal feet. Gives me 12.386 feet. That is the decimal length of my common rafter. So the line length of my common rafter, number 5, 12.386 feet is the equivalent of 12 foot. So I subtract off my 12.386 times 12 to give me inches. 4 and 10/16, which I know is 5/8 of an inch. So the line length of my common rafter, is 12 foot 4 and 5/8. Number 6, my projection as a decimal. My projection here is 24 inches. 24 inches, how many units a run is that? Well, I divide it by 12. It gives me 2.0 units. So what is the length of my overhang? I now have 2.0 units times line length per unit, 12.65 inches, equals 25.30 inches is equal to 2 foot. Oh, I'm just going to write that beside it so I don't run out of room. Divide that by 12 equals 25.3 divided by 12. 2.108. 2.108. This happens to be 3 repeating. So that is the decimal length of my overhang. So what is the length of my overhang? Well, I know that that is now 2 foot, subtract the 2, equals, times 12 equals 2 foot 1.3, so subtract the 1 times 16 to change that 0.3 into sixteenths, gives me 4.8. I'm going to round that up to 5/16 of an inch. So everyone have a look at that. We have our unit rise of 4. Every time that we go 1 unit of run, we will go up 1 unit of line length, which is the equivalent of 12.65 inches. We have now calculated the length of our common rafter and the length of our overhang. We would add those two together to get the total length of our entire rafter from the ridge board all the way to the fascia board. Line length of the common rafter was the first one. Line length of the overhang being 2 foot 1 and 5/16. So 2, 12, 14 foot 5 and roughly 15/16. So I'm going to erase this and I'm going to carry on with number 9. Actually, let's do number 9 right now. Nominal length of the common rafter. We need the line length of the common rafter plus line length of the overhang, which I just did. Much easier for you guys probably, rather than converting this back, if you already have this written, my line length of my common rafter was 12.386 feet. Line length of my overhang in feet, 2.108. I'm just going to leave it as the 108. Generally work in 3 decimals. 12.386 plus 2.108 equals 14.494. 14.494, which I know is 14 foot 5. Subtract the 5 times 16ths. As I said before, 15/16 of an inch. So number 9 was asking us for the nominal length. What do I have to order? What am I getting from the lumberyard? I'm going to get a 16 foot 0 inch board. Nominal. Nominal, I need a 16 footer. Oh, stand back up. Now, the next thing is asking me for the number of common rafters. I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to draw this roof back on here so that I can do a little bit of explanation. So give me 2 seconds. Oh, I can't pause this. We're just going to carry on. I'm going to erase this quickly. I'll leave the building up there. Now I'm just going to take that same picture that I have there. I'm going to draw it nice and big here. Oops. Yeah, 23 foot 6 inches and 32 foot 0 inches. Rafters, 2x4s starting at one end. I'm going to draw my ridge board in. If I don't draw my ridge board in, I might forget that there's rafters on both sides of this roof. Right now I'm going to calculate one side, but there is two sides to this roof. So we've got to remember that. 32 feet. Rafters starting at one end. So they're starting here and going to here. This is just the framing, remember. This has nothing to do with the projection as of yet. So 32 feet. Two ways to do this. 32 feet times 12 inches per foot equals 32 times 12, 384 inches. I then divide that by 16 inch on center. Divide by 16 gives me exactly 24. That is 24 16-inch spaces. So it's 24 16-inch spaces. So one space, first rafter. Second space, second rafter. Third space, third rafter. And so on all the way to the end. So I'm going to draw these in a different colored marker. I know I got 24 of them. So this is going to be very rough. It's not going to be to scale. But I got one space, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 23, 24. So this is 24 spaces. But notice I have nothing here to start because I went one space. So 24 plus 1 to start is equal to 25 rafters. That's 25 rafters on this side, plus I need the same thing on this side, which is equal to 50 common rafters. So the number of common rafters, 50. Board feet required to frame all the common rafters. I have 2x4s. Board footage. I have 50 of them. They are 16 feet long each. They're 16 footers. Divide that by 12. 2 by 4 by 50 pieces that are 16 feet long. 6,400 divided by 12 to change it to board feet is equal to 533.33 board feet. That will give me all the rafters to do this area right here. There is some rafters missing. We have a projection of 24 inches. So out here, we've got a projection of 24 inches. There's one rafter there. I need one here. I thus need one here, and I need one there. These rafters here, on the outside, they're exactly the same as our common rafters, except we don't have a bird's mouth in them down here at the bottom because they're not resting on a wall plate. These are what are known as verge rafters. Verge rafters. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 50 common rafters plus 4 verge. So here, if I want to know all the rafters necessary, I would have to add 4 more. So you can figure that out. 2 by 4. Now let's go with 54 rafters, 16 feet long, divided by 12. 2 by 4 by 54 with my verge, times 16. 6912. I'll just write it over here. 6912 divided by 12. Give me board footage. 576 board feet, including verges. All right. Hope that helps. Just remember, when we do our rafters, 32 feet times 12 inches, 384 inches, divided by 16 inch on center, 24 spaces. 1 space, first rafter. Didn't put a rafter there to start. So when we go 24 equal spaces to get us right on the end, we have to add 1 to start, which gives us 25 rafters. I'll go into one that's going to be an oddball space on one of my next videos. Ciao.